So what is happening today is a very important aspect of our new generation leadership program. Because some 2-3 years ago, we realized that as much as we want to shape the new leaders to come, the new generation, is that the older generation is still on. And unless we also work a bit on the mindset of the older generation, we may not be able to achieve what we are trying to achieve in the new generation leadership program. Because the students themselves kept saying, okay, you are giving us very good materials, you are training us very well, but we are not able to practice at home because our leaders back at home do not have what we have. And so the students kept asking for it, but also the superiors, as they kept coming for our induction meetings, they kept saying, you are giving such good material to these young people. Now, when they come back to us, we don't know how to handle them. Can we also be exposed to whatever it is they are learning so that we can be able to help them achieve the goals? We invited all those that are senior, we can call them the senior managers of religious congregations, dioceses, institutions. For example, currently in this team that is here, we have the Vice Chancellor of the Catholic University. That is a Catholic institution that is handling so many of the Catholic priests, religious, lay people, and it is just one of its kind in the whole of Kenya. And so if we are able to reach out to the VC and bring some of the ideas that we have about servant leadership, for example, executive management, how to manage resources, I think we'll have reached a very huge number of the church, not just in Kenya, because Catholic University is an anaesthesia institution. So it is holding a number of people from various countries. So today, what we are going to do in the next 3 days, we are going to look at a major aspect of an organization, that is communication. Because from our survey, we did realize that many of the problems that are occurring in religious congregations, or even in the church today, is about communication. So we are going to give them a bit of the communication skills. How do you communicate for impact, for example? You don't just communicate for the sake of it. What do you want to achieve out of that communication? Then we are going to also look at managing the most important asset of organizations, and these are the human beings. So we are going to be talking about aspects of human resource management, which is today a very, very, very important topic, because unless you handle the human resource in the organization properly, then your organization will always struggle to succeed. We are going to give them skills on finances at their level as senior people, because they may not be directly the ones handling the money issue, but they are responsible for what happens in the organizations. And finally, we are also going to talk about self and your personal leadership as a person. How you are, maybe your self-esteem, your personality, how do you understand yourselves, more of the emotional intelligence and all that. So we are hoping that, for example, you are training this one superior here, and maybe in her congregation you have trained some other 4 sisters. When they come together as a team that has gone through this program, they will be able also to organize the same in their own congregation at different levels, because they have leaders in different levels of their congregation. If this one superior and maybe 2 students can go back home and train their 20, by the end of it all, we will have impacted on a bigger number than just the one person we may have focused on. So that's what we are looking at. That's why we have the whole element of coaching coming in. Like they are starting that course now, this is March, but they will not graduate with any certificate until August, because they must commit themselves to some activity. There's something they need to do at their personal level, and maybe as a team with their sisters and brothers in the congregation. So within this month, we'll be able to monitor and see what exactly have they done. And I'm hoping that whatever group they will have trained in their own organizations, that one will also now go on and train another one. And slowly, we are hoping this can change the way the organizations are being run. One of the areas that we are still thinking about, and I have already had a discussion with the chairman of the KCCB, because we were hoping a good number of bishops would also come. What we are trying to think about is how can we still be the same, but at their level, maybe in their own group. And like now, we have very many new bishops that have just been ordained. And so if we were able to capture these bishops and bring them in, then slowly we shall have even the top leadership of the church involved in this. And we are hoping that the bishops too can be able to escalate this down to their own priests in the dioceses, and slowly we shall have a culture change.
When I look at the program, I think to myself, how they are going to develop this. But I found that all the three subjects are very connected, very, very connected. Because of course, we deal with finance. And human resources is our biggest assets. You know, when you say, sometimes you think about money, but if you don't have human resources, if you don't work our people, we are doing nothing. No, and it was great for me to understand also that sometimes I think I'm communicating, but I'm not communicating. Then I started to think and rethink about my communication style.
One of the key things which I learned is that the issue of the budget. There are three types of budget. We have the master budget. Master budget gives the overall view of the organization. Then we have departmental budget. This is a budget which is touching all the departments within the organization. And lastly, we have the cash budget. The cash budget here actually is referring to the liquidity, involves the liquidity of the organization. And I also learned that it is not only making the budget for the conference or for the organization where I work. My personal budget is very key. That at least I need to come up with my budget, the budget of my day-to-day operation. So I realized that when it comes to finance management, control measures are very important, that checks and balances. There should be some kind of procedure, standard operating procedures on how things are supposed to be done, especially when it comes to money transaction.
The issue of financial management, that's one area that I actually felt that it was required that we are able to understand our sources of funding, how do we manage them, how do we account for them, and especially when we are looking at our chaplaincy, which is so much dependent on the donor funding, it was something that is going to be an impact in our operation and in our area of work. Another issue that I took with me is on human resource management, especially aligning our human personnel that I have, the chaplains that we are working with, the staff who are working within the chaplaincy, with the vision of the church, the way the church, and not only with the church, but also the vision of the chaplaincy that is geared towards the rehabilitation and reformation of offenders, and eventually reintegrating them back into the society. Another area in human resource is identifying their talents. Yeah, probably we may have put young officers in major maximum prisons where there are very complicated cases, or even putting them very far away from their families where they are fighting frustrations and they would like to be closer to their families, and probably it is becoming a noise and a nuisance and a blockade to their achievement of their goals. So it's something that has come in order for me to realign the human resource management that I've had with the current situation.
For me, the key thing that has come to me is the teamwork that I'm witnessing. From the part of the facilitator being the stratemer, I think we are seeing that it's not an individual activity, it's a whole team involved, from the preparation to the facilitator. That as much as there's a facilitator, there are also other people at the background. I think for me, that element of teamwork is important.
The course was very, very, very nice, very intensive, and thought-provoking. I was able to reflect back at my own congregation and see perhaps what are the assets that we have as a congregation, but because of lack of knowledge, we have not really done anything, or we've not done much. So I feel that there are many opportunities, but this course helped me to really reflect on the real issues, real things that happen, why I speak about perhaps we are not able to meet our needs, yet we have the assets with us.
It was above my expectation, and I learned new things. When we talk about psychological contract, I did not know what that meant. And now I know that if we all have a goal, a vision in our communities, in our congregations, and if you hire people to work with us and does not have the same vision and the same values, things will not work well.
My expectations were met first. I expected on how to know how to develop my own personal budget. And that one came out clearly during the session, which will actually help me in exercising my duties as a Secretary General in a positive way.
Well, actually my expectations were met. The way the package, the market of the course was presented, I expected almost something like this. I didn't have some ideas on what to expect from Strathmore or from the program owners. I expected to learn something new about leadership, and I think I've gotten it as somebody who is senior in the management of the chaplaincy.
I feel my expectations have been met. Actually, I did not know that I'll be fulfilled this much. But today, as we conclude the program, I feel very satisfied, very happy, very energized, and able to look forward to continue serving in the service that God has given me to journey with my congregation.
I feel that my expectations were really met, far and above. I feel that the topics speak directly to me as a leader. So for me, I feel that the topics were really relevant. My expectations were met, far and above.
I will continue thinking and rethinking the way I have been doing things till now.
I'm really going to apply that active listening aspect.
I'm going to change the way I communicate, the way I carry myself, what is expected of me as the leader.
I will really look into the aspect of communication.
I think one of the things that I'm going to do is to be more appreciative of our congregation, of our members, and also to be more sensitive in terms of tapping the energies that are there, seeing their strength and working on it. At the same time, also to be sensitive maybe to the others who might not be doing very well, but I need not to leave them behind, but to see how to journey with them.